Welcome again, everyone. My name is Laura Mahoney, and here we are again in sunny San Diego. For all you veteran users, this is a good time for you to do the processes that you only do once a year. It's also a good time for you to take time away from your busy schedule and focus on setting up for ESY and fall. And it's also a good time to hear about what's new with Promis. For some of you new users, it's actually a great thing because you can have personal assistance here today with your setup. You can ask any questions and also network with other Promis users to see what they do, any best practices that they have as well that you can take back with you and use back at your job. So, okay, so the first agenda item is school setup. So most of your schools are already set up with the exceptions of any new schools that you're going to be adding for 2016-17, any edits, any updates to any existing schools, and possibly deactivating any schools that you're not going to be using in the 2016-17 school year. So if you need to add a school, go ahead and email us the information. You need to email us the county, the CDS code, and the exact name of the school that you want it, us to put it under. There are going to be some processes that you are going to have to do on your end to be able to set it up before you use it. And if you need that information, you can go ahead and refer to your user's manual, where the tab that says School Setup. This is your main user's manual. I'm going to show you the process on how to deactivate a school. If there's a school that you're not going to be using next year, please don't deactivate it now because you'll lose all access to it for the remainder of the school year. So what you'll do is you'll hover over school, go to your school profile, get your list of schools, and the way to deactivate it is you check the box to the left of the edit link and simply deactivate it. And if you need to reactivate a school, you actually do the same process. You just check the box to the left and click the activate button here. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and edit this first school. If you need to make any changes or addition, any changes to the address, any changes to name, any changes to the telephone number, this is how you do it. You would edit the link to the left of the school name, edit the information that you need to change, and click Save. So while we're here, we're just going to kind of cover the other tabs that are available here. The general information is basically general information. The only thing that we update mainly is just the school year here, and then your class periods here. So if you have a full year, you only have mainly one class period, but if you're like an alternative education, you'll have multiple class periods. Next, what I'm going to be showing you in our data here, you're not going to be doing anything on your screens because this also is a feature that needs to be, or a process that needs to be done on July 1st, is bulk updating your school years. To bulk update the school year, you're going to hover over Admin, and then you're going to, let me go here, bulk update school year. So again, this process is going to be done on July 1st. What you're going to do is you're going to select your county, and all of your schools will come up. And as you can see on this, I'm going to just kind of circle it with my mouse or my cursor because I don't know, it's on my right-hand side. You'll see the school year 2015-16. When you're ready to bulk update the school year, you would select all your schools, and you would change the school year here and make sure that it says 2016-17, acknowledge, and then update. And then what's going to happen is all your school year here is going to change from 2015-16 to 2016-17. But do not do that now. I'm just kind of showing you. So there are three day types. We actually added a new day type this year to the school calendars. We added winter exclusion. And it's not in the training manual because it was something that we added right before, right after the training manuals were printed. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's something that we don't want users to use on a whim because it does affect your ADA reporting, your reports, your J1819, your 2728, and your DO monthly, the ADA by DOR. So all of your ADA reports it does affect. But I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So we have that one, the winter exclusion, ESY, and regular, which are your regular in-session days. So we're going to hover over school. And this is just for the person who's going, and we're going to create a county calendar. Here in this tab, we're going to change the school year to 2016-17. We're not going to select a district because we're going to be creating a county calendar. So you're just going to go ahead and click the button that says Add New Calendar. And as you can see right here up at the top, it says County, California County. So that's how we know that it's going to be a county calendar. Here, we're going to open it up and select 2016-17. And the school name, it's, however, you may want to look at what your other county past year's calendars were titled. I'm just going to call this one County. And I always like to put do not delete because you don't want anyone to delete this one. So, and then I'm going to do 16-17. All righty, everybody. And then the calendar is saved, and it'll take you back out. And then it'll take you to the calendar. I'm going to go ahead and return to list. So when you're creating calendars, there's 3 types that you need to create. You need to create a county calendar, a district calendar, and a school calendar. So your county calendar is going to be open and in session every day possible for the school year, with the exception of holidays that are all your campuses take off. Christmas Day, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving break, those are the only days that are going to be tagged not in session on your county calendar. With that, exception, everything else is going to be open. Because what will happen is as it trickles down to your district and your school, if that one day is closed in your county calendar, it's going to shut access to all of them, even if they're open. Okay? So from your county calendar, you're going to create a district calendar. Okay, so we're going to edit the county calendar. And you're going to start off with July. There's a couple of ways that you can mark your calendars. You can do it by simply clicking the box. Session, whether July 1st is ESY. And this is another feature that you can use. So we're going to bulk update from 7/01/2016. Okay, so I'm going to double my dates too as well. 7/1/2016 to 6/30/2017. Click Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to change the membership to 1. I'm going to check the box that says changed in session to. I believe that is it. Double check my dates one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and make that bulk update. And that's going to make every day within this county calendar in session open. So if I start clicking, you'll see that it says in session and has a membership. And if you look here, it gives you total instructional days, 261. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy this main county calendar that has been open to every day, with the exceptions of major holidays that all your campuses are closed. We're going to copy it down to the district. Okay, and at the district level, then what you're going to do is you're going to tailor it a little bit more to your district calendar. So we're going to copy it down to the district, because some of you may have one calendar, some of you may have several calendars. You guys may follow several different districts, so we'll give you some time to go ahead and populate those. So what we're going to do is we're going to return to list. Make sure your school year says 16-17 and you're looking at your 16-17 calendar. And you're going to copy it. And then from here, you're going to choose the district that you're going to copy it to. You're not going to select any schools at this time because we're just going to tailor the district. Okay? And then you'll repeat this same process if you have multiple districts that you need to copy down to. You're going to choose the year, 2016-17. And then you're going to give it a name. So you can start off with your first district, and then you're going to go ahead and click copy. Again, you're going to follow the same process if you have more than one district that you need to create, because right now you're just creating a generic district calendar for every district that you service or you have classes at, and then you're going to tailor them more to just district specific. So then you'll return to list, and then you'll click on the Show All Calendars button, and you'll see now that I have a district calendar, and you'll know that it's a district calendar because it's in parentheses. So from there, you're going to go ahead and edit that calendar and go through each month and start tailoring it to that specific district. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some time. I'm going to go ahead and choose a day. I'm going to say, to make it a non-in-session day, you're going to uncheck the box and you're going to change the membership to 0. And then what you'll do is once you save the calendar, it closes out that day. So that day is not available to any of your sites. If it's in the county, it's not available to any sites, any of your districts and any of your schools. If it's at the district, it's not available to any days in your district. So once you finish with your district, go ahead and return to list and go back to your main page where that looks like this. And then you're going to click on the button that says show all calendars, and you should have your district one here, the one that you just finished tailoring. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the copy button for your district. So you'll make sure that you're looking at the district calendar. You're going to copy it. It's going to take you to the next page where you're going to select your district. And then you're here, if you have more than one school that you need to copy it down to, you'll click the first one, highlight the first one, your control button, and then you can select the other schools that fall underneath that district. Okay? For those who have multiple districts, you'll only select those schools that fall within that district. You'll select the year again, make sure you're selecting the appropriate year. 2016-17. And then you can give it the calendar. The calendar name would be like Manteca District, North County District, whatever the district that those schools fall under. Like for our county, we have Manteca, we have Tracy, we have Escalon. So any of those schools that fall underneath those districts, is just the calendar name is going to be Escalon. So here I'm just going to put California. And then from there, you hit the copy button. I think it went, so I tried to click it again because I was unsure if it went through, and it tells me that they didn't get copied because they were already selected. There's calendars for them already out there. So then you go back to return list, show all, and so now you have the calendar name, which is my district, the name of the district here, and then the name of the school. So then what you would do is from here, you would now tighten up those school calendars even more. You would edit whichever one you're working with. For example, like if you have a preschool campus and they only do Monday, Fridays, or they only do, they have a day off, a certain day off that your other district schools don't have. This is where you would tighten it up. Say you have ESY, which is Summer School Extended Session. This is where you would actually select that information as well. So here, I'm going to say that between 7/1 and 7/15, we have ESY. So you can actually individually check that box, ESY for summer session, or you could do the bulk update down at the bottom as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do the bulk update feature and go from 7/1/2016 to 7/15/2016. Make sure my dates are correct. I'm going to select Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right now they're already selected as one, but I'm going to make sure that I change them, because whatever is here is what it's going to bulk up. So even if it already says 1 up there in the calendar, you want to make sure you select it again, because it's going to change it to 0 if you don't select it. And then you're going to select the second box that says change to ESY. And then you'll make the bulk update change. So now I'll scroll back up, and you'll see that my boxes are all marked ESY. So what it's going to do now is it's going to take those days of ADA and put them towards the summer school or extended session ESY. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started on grading periods. Okay. So what we're going to hover over school, add edit grading periods. You're going to select that link. You're going to make sure that over here you're in the 2016-17 school year. And it looks like I have some already set up. I actually have a county already set up, so I'm going to just show you how to, I'm going to click on Add New Grading Period. I'm going to see if I have any here in my, I'm going to find me a district. For the county, you're going to just add. And you'll see that it says county type. The name is going to be either full year, semester 1, quarter 1. That's going to be the full name. So this one I'm going to put quarter 1. And in the short name, I'm going to put Q1. And then here I'm going to find the abbreviation, which is quarter 1. And then you're going to put in your dates. So I'm just going to put in 8/12/2016. And you guys, you all have your own dates that you'll be putting in, so I'm just making some up for test purposes. So use your dates to 11/30/2016. Okay. And then here you'll select as appropriate if you want them to show on the progress report, do not show on current reporting, report card grading period, current attendance grading period. Then you'll save. And it'll take you back to the list. And as you can see now, I have a county quarter 1. And then if you need to add a quarter 2, you'll go down, you'll just add again and continue the process. For your full year, some of your special ed campuses just do full year. You'll do a full year, full year, full year. Starting date would be 07/01/2016. And I already have one, so it's probably going to tell me that to 06/30/2017. And I'm going to save it. And here I have a whole bunch of errors because it tells me that I've already created one. So I'm going to return to my list. And there, it's already there. So once you have a county level set, you actually can copy them down to your districts and your schools. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to copy it down to the schools. And it's the same process. So what you're going to do is make sure that you're in the 2016-17 school year. I'm not sure if you necessarily need to, but I just always want to make sure that everything says 2016-17. So when you're at your main screen, you're going to click on the button that says Copy Grading Periods, Schools, and then Add Edit Grading Periods. And then from here, you're going to make sure that you're in the 2016-17 school year. Okay, and then there's a button right here that says Copy Grading Periods. And you're going to click on the Copy Grading Periods button. And then over here, again, you're going to make sure you're in the 2016-17 school year. So you want to make sure you see that. And you're not going to select anything at the top because you're going to pick from your county down here. These are your county set. And then you are going to select district. If you're only doing a district, you're going to just leave just district. If you're going to do it down to the schools, then you're going to go ahead and click on the schools, Control. Then from here, you're going to select the ones that you're going to copy. So I'm going to select them all and see, select my county here. Everybody with me still? Okay. And then from right here, you're just going to click the Copy Grading Periods. And then for me, I already had some copied down to some of the schools, so that gave me the alert that some of the periods were not copied because they already exist. But if not, then it'll just say copy. They copied down. You click on the OK button. And as you see up here, it might take you back to 2015-16, so you'll have to click on 2016-17 to see all the different grading periods that it copied down. And you'll notice that it went from county in parentheses to school. Now, if you have different grading periods that pertain to different districts in school, then you'll do the same process as well to copy them down. Valerie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see a delete button to delete the any of the grading periods. They just wouldn't use it, correct? Okay. And don't forget, along with your grading periods for your regular quarter one, quarter two, semester one, full year, you also, it's also recommended that you make a set for ESY, just so that you have just those set dates for ESY, like whether it be 6:15 to 6:30 or 7:1 to 7:10. We do recommend that you do make an ESY set of grading periods as well. So just, even if it's full year, I mean, you can. I mean, I don't think it hurts anything not to. But we do recommend it so that you can have those, those specific dates as designated for ESY. But I know that in some cases, some of the users have used that full year because it does encompass the 7:1 to 6:30 as well. So we're going to go ahead and move on to courses and course sections. The courses are all freestanding. That means that they're just move over the same from year to year. You can add, edit, update as needed, but you don't need to copy them over. You don't need to do anything. They just appear and they're there every year. So we're going to hover over school and go to courses just to kind of take a look at them. So you can filter here you can see all the county ones, just everything listed here. Okay, so I just wanted to show you your courses. These are all your courses, and you can filter for. So when you delete a course, it really doesn't delete it. It just inactivates it and kind of puts it in the inactive status. So when you create a course, you always want to make sure that it says, if you can't see it when you go to make a section or what, you want to make sure that you go back to your courses and you see right here where it says is active. You want to make sure that it is active, or you won't be able to see it in your sections when you're trying to create a section. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually copy. We're going to copy our sections from 15-16 to 16-17. So I was just kind of showing you the courses and where they are. So you're going to hover over school. You're going to add edit sections. And it's going to take you to the list of all your sections. I only have, oh, okay. Doop. Let me go into my 15-16 year. Okay, so that'll give me a list of all my sections. So you'll see all your different sections here, and then so what you want to do next is you want to click on the Copy Sections button. Okay. Let me go back. From 15-16, and then it'll give me a list of all my sections. So I'm not going to select a district or grading period or status or anything because I want all of them to go over. Okay, so if you don't want all of them to go over, what you'll do is you'll manually select checkbox here to the left of the ones that you want to move over.
So I would have to go through and pick my district.
Correct. So then you'll do district by district. Yeah, you'll do district by district. I'm going to, for the sake of moving, I want to move all of them over. And actually, this would be a good time for you if there's sections that you created that you don't want to copy over, or old sections that were created a while back ago that you no longer use. This would be a good time to clean it up and only move over those sections that you want to move into the new school year. So if you need to filter by district, you can, or by school, however it's going to be easier for you to filter through and clean it up.
So once you click, then you click copy section.
So what you'll do then is so I'm going to select all of them for California demo, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to copy to school year 2016-17, and then I'm going to copy sections. And then you'll get that message that says sections copied. All right, let's get back to work here. So we're going to move right along, but we're going to go ahead and move along to reporting segments and divisors. Ooh, fun. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to switch over then, and then that'll make it easier for you guys to figure out your dates. You're going to hover over school, add edit reporting segments, and I don't know if your county has somebody designated or if you do your own. So there you're going to have a county set of you need a set, one for ESY, one for ESY2, and then all for all of your months. And this is a county set, and then what you'll do is you'll figure out for each district that you have, you'll count the days as well. We're going to go into 2016-17. To do the county, all you'll do is, you don't select anything, you just do add new reporting segment. And you'll see that when you select that, it says segment type, county reporting segment. That's what you should read at the segment type. So then what you're going to do is the name is going to be month 1, or whatever it is that you use to designate it. Your start date should be 20, each reporting month is 20 days. I'm going to just put in some dates. And then you'll put in your first 4 weeks, which, like this one, for example, will be 8 to 9/2. I counted 4 weeks. And then I designated it to P1. And then I just click Save. And that's my first county set. And then I'll continue to do it. One, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just copy down the segments. So what you'll do is you'll just click on Copy Reporting Segments, and then you're going to choose reporting segment to copy from, whether it be your county set or the school set you count. Then you're going to choose the district or the school if you're doing it one school, and then you're going to copy it down to the other schools. You're going to select what you want to copy it to and hit the copy button. So you can see that I copied the month 1 down to the school, so now I have it the same thing. Then if you want to copy that same school down to another school, you just select the district. Does anybody need assistance on copying them down? So reporting divisors, what you'll do is you'll hover over admin almost to the end, and it says edit reporting divisors. And you're going to add a new divisor, and you're going to manually enter the divisor. So you wouldn't select anything here. And if you're going to do your school set, then you're going to filter down for your school. If you're going to do a county set, you're not going to select anything here. And then you would put the appropriate number of days. So, for example, P1 would 70. And then P2 is the beginning of your school year to the end of P2. And then your P3 should be the total number of days in session, which for most of you it's 180. So I'm going to say, for example, P2 is 140 and my P3 is 180. And then I'm going to save.
Okay. All right, are we ready? Is everyone back from break? No? Yes, 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 okay. Calling once, calling twice, okay. So we're gonna go over the different processes for the end of year rollover. So we have your E155, so everyone knows the CalPads, they have to, the new rule, well, not very new, but a couple years old, is that you have to drop all your kids with the E155 at the end of your regular school year, May, June, whatever day it is, and then you have to re-enroll them in fall. So if you don't have ESY, it's really simple. You would just exit them with the E155, and I'll show you how to do that, and then you would re-enroll them in fall. For most of you guys don't have those scenarios. We're not regular ed, so we have some other different processes to help you guys through it. So I'm going to go do an overview on the different processes. For some of your student population, you may have the scenario where you would just drop them and then re-enroll them in fall. So for those students, what I would recommend doing is exiting all those students out, those regular students out. You know, at the end of May or whatever date is your regular school year ends, you exit them with the E155 and it puts them in that tank and you can re-enroll them in fall. So to do that, you would go to hover over students and you'd click on end of year bulk drop E155. We always recommend when doing any of these processes, do it by school. It's a little bit more manageable. One thing that if I was in your guys' shoes, maybe what I would do is I would get an Excel sheet, or even if I write it on paper, I would list my schools. And then I would check off every school that I did just to make sure that I'm either not processing one, trying to process one twice, or I don't forget about one. That's up to you guys. So if you'd select your district, you'd select your school. You can even go down to the section, but I know some of us have a lot of sections, so that would be a little bit unmanageable. And then your exit date. So you're going to say for this school, the exit date is, May 25th or whatever. So you go ahead and enter the date. And then you do exit comment. This is used for the narrative record. So when they exit, it'll put information in there. So I'm just going to go put E155, end of year. And then I'm going to search. So for this criteria for this school, it's telling me that I have 116 students, and all of them, if I wanted to choose two, we could drop all of them. But say, for example, you have 5 of the kids, they're leaving, they're not coming back. They've already told you at the end of this year, we're not coming back, we're going to a different school. You can exit all of them except for those 5. So this is why we have the check boxes. So for just the ones that you want E155, are supposed to be coming back, supposedly. You would put a checkbox next to them, and then you'd bulk drop. What this process does, it drops the courses. So any active courses they have, it will drop that with the end date of whatever date that you have up here on the exit date. It'll also close out any special programs, except for the special ed program, because we all know that the special ed program can be from a long time ago. You don't have to close it out and all that stuff. So, so on this page, whatever students that are you expecting to come back, you would drop with the E155, and then they'll stay on the homepage notification for fall. And then what other students that are not coming back, you would just exit them with a T160 or whatever, graduating. If they're graduating, you would graduate them out with their exit code. So this is the easy process. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 for you, and I'll show you where they go. Okay, so once you exit them, they will either go, we have 2 different places that you can find these students. You can either go to the home page notification, it's end of year E150/E155 students. So we have 3 students right there. Or if you hover over students, End of year exited students, E155/E150. These both go to the same place. They're redirected to the same place. So if we go ahead and look at those students. So these 3 students, this one was already there. So the first 2 students that I clicked was MM and then John Mahoney. So whatever students that you exit with the E155 on that page, they will stay here. From that point, when you come into fall and you're starting to enroll your students into their classes, this will be the bucket that you do that from. Say, for example, you thought John Mahoney was supposed to come back and he doesn't. You can also bulk change exit codes from here. So if he doesn't come back and he doesn't enroll in the fall and he's still kind of sitting there, you're like, oh, what do I do with these? Okay, oh, let me figure out what's going on with him. Oh, he didn't come back. I need a T160. I'm with an exit code of a T160. You can do that from here. You can do it in bulk. So if there's multiple kids, you can click them and do multiple bulk change exit codes. Or if you just have one, you can click on the link right here. You can also re-enroll one student back into fall, or you can do multiple students in bulk right here with these drop downs. So it's, if you have a different scenario like your juvenile halls, your juvenile hall students, they never leave, right? They're just there on 6:30 and they're there on 7:1. We have 2 automatic processes. The automatic processes, what they do is they will, the first one is the automatic process, just the regular one. It will drop your students with the E155 and automatically re-enroll them on whatever date that you specify, and they'll re-enroll them with their enrollment line. What it'll do is it'll drop the courses, re-enroll them in their courses. It'll drop their special programs and re-enroll them in their special programs. So it's something that you literally don't have to do anything else with those students besides doing the automatic process. And that's going to be really only for maybe your juvenile hall students, or if you have another program that does where they're always there. So to do that process, you're going to go to end of year process from your students menu. So if you hover over students, you're going to click on end of year process. To do this process, again, this is the end of year process, the regular process. This will drop them with whatever date you specify and re-enroll them automatically with whatever date you specify. It will drop the student sections. It'll re-enroll the student sections into the same exact section that they have. And it'll also drop the special program. So if they have an SLP, they have a migrant, it will drop it and re-enroll it, except for special ed. It does not touch the special ed. So I know that in the past years when we were looking at this data, I know a couple people, hey, I called in and my data is a little bit messed up. You do want to do these processes before 7/1. You could do it on 6:30, because if you do it on 7/1, your dates, these things right here, these drop downs, they'll revert to the new year. So you guys want to do these on 6:30. You can do them on 7/1, but you want to make sure you're very careful with the dates and what school years are in here, because you can say, if this is 16-17, then you'll roll it into 17-18. So you just want to be mindful. So the end of year process, the first process that you do is called the bulk rollover. What that is processing is it's processing the student's enrollment. It's going to drop that student in the cost history, put a narrative record, and then it's going to re-enroll the student into whatever date. So you would process that first. And again, we also recommend to do it by school. Because this one also, one thing I do want to mention, if you'll notice, you don't have the option to select kids here. So it's all or nothing. So that's why you want to, you want to make sure that you know what your kids' situation. If it's a whole school, that's good. If it's your juvenile hall, it's pretty easy. You know your kids are going to be there and they're going to stay there. So if you click on your perform task, so let's see. So I'm just going to pick this kid right here so we can look at him after, okay? So I can show you what it does to the courses and the special programs. So if I click on perform task, it's going to take me to another page. So I'm going to say, this is my juvenile hall. It's going to exit them with the E155 on 6:30, and it's going to re-enroll them on a 7/1. And then it's going to say at the bottom, with most of our bulk processes, I do acknowledge that I'll be processing 12 students, and then you just have to click that to acknowledge it. Okay. The next process is advanced grade. So if at that point you know my juvenile hall does advanced grade on 7-1, you can process that. It's going to take your 10th graders, your 11th graders, your 8th graders, your 9th graders, and automatically do it. We know on the back end what grade they are and what grade they're going to promote to. So if at this time this is something that you would do this process second. And then the last process is enroll in new sections and special programs. So this process is going to drop them from their sections, re-enroll them in their new sections, same exact sections, drop their special programs, re-enroll them in their special programs. So we're going to go ahead and do the same school. And again, we have 12 students. You just should always kind of, a couple things do, just keep note. You're making sure, like when you're working on a school, your numbers are the same, just kind of checks and balances. Course enrollment date, this is the new date that you want the new enrollment to start on. And this is another thing right here, special programs, new school year. Since we are doing this 15-16, that's why I was saying be mindful. We want to make sure that the 16-17. So just, again, anytime you're doing these, just kind of look at what it's saying and what the drop down says. So we will make sure we verify we do the right thing. So at the bottom it says, I confirm that I have copied all sections to the new school year and advanced all grade levels if applicable, of course. So again, we're putting that checks and balances to hopefully we're looking at it and we're making sure, oh, did I copy over my sections? Because that's a very important part of this. And then I acknowledge I'll be processing 12 students, so another acknowledgement statement. And then bulk enroll new sections. So process is completed successfully. So now let's go ahead and look at the student. Okay, so now if we look right here up at the student header, you'll notice that the school enrollment date and the current school enrollment date is 7-1. That's our new school year. Those both get reset. In our cost history, you'll notice that we have an E155 drop on 6/30. And then on our courses, we have an inactive course. See, 6/30 right here. And then in our special programs, we have, this is still intact. We don't do anything with the special ed program. In SLP, that's ended. All these things are ended. So now if we go into the 16-17 school year.
You'll see a narrative record that was created that just basically puts whatever message you put into that field when you were dropping it, like exit, bulk exit. It'll have a narrative record for that.
Correct, yes. So now if we look at the cost history in the new school year, you'll see the 7-1 new enrollment. In the courses, you'll see the new course. Psych. Oh, I totally just lectured you guys about copying over sections. I'm pretty sure we didn't do that. But if we would have, you would have seen a course right here. So this is to show you what not to do. We'll see. Lesson learned. So when I show you the next one, I'm going to copy over their sections so you guys And then the special programs, we're going to go ahead and show you those. So if you see an SLP has a new 7-1, all these special programs that had one in there now has a new one. So that is for our programs that would want to exit on one day and re-enroll on one day. So pretty much, I don't know many programs that do that except for juvenile hall. You guys may have another program, but I don't know. The next process, and before we process it, I will copy over the sections for that school. So the end of year process ESY, what this does, it does the same exact thing with the courses and the programs, except for it does not drop the student. It just transfers them into the new school year. It keeps their enrollment open. And then, so basically the logic behind this is, okay, I have an ESY, and I don't want to drop them yet with E155. So what I'm going to do is it's going to transfer them, and then whenever the ESY is done, then you would E155 them at that time and re-enroll them in the fall. So that is the process for your students that have ESY. So what you're going to want to do, so like say at the end of the year, your students end their regular school year, You put them, if they are at a different school, you can transfer them into that school, the ESY school, but if they just have like a different section, they're at the same school, but they just have a different course section, you can just end that course section and then re-enroll them into their ESY section. So once you have the students situated in their ESY situation, okay, then this is when we want to do the ESY end of year. Basically what you would do, you will hover over students, end of year Process-ESY. And it looks exactly the same, right? You're going to, if we look at it back from the other one that we showed you, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to process the bulk rollover ESY first. And we're going to do it by school. And we're going to do demo spring 2 test. And it says we have 50 students, so I'm just going to kind of keep note of that. I acknowledge I'll be processing 50 students. Okay, and then for the second part, we are going to process the, we're not going to do advanced grade level because usually programs don't advance their grade level in ESY. If you do, then that is definitely something that you can process. But in my experience, I haven't seen that to be true. So we're going to process the last option, which is enroll in new sections and special programs. I'm going to select our county. I'm going to select our county and district and school, and then perform task. And as we see, we have 50 students again. It's going to say course enrollment special program date. The new date will be 7/1. Special programs new school year will be 16/17. I confirmed that I copied over the sections. Yes, yes. Copied over sections. All right, I confirmed it. And I acknowledge that I'm processing 50 students, so we confirm that. And then we'll click on bulk enroll in new sections. All right, so now let's take a look at student and what it looks like. Let's see, okay. So if you look right here, for this student, the school enrollment date is intact because we've never dropped them yet. We haven't dropped them and re-enroll them, and that's the only way that the school enrollment date changes. But if you notice, the current school year enrollment date is 7/1. So that's the little difference between that. And if we look at our COSP history, you'll notice that the transfer into the new school year. So there's no drop. So if we look at the 15-16 school year, just so you can see, so you believe me, I promise. Let's see. So the COSP history, if you see, there's no drop. It just transfers them into the new school year. So if you do have your ESY programs, you would just to get that rollover, you would just do the ESY option. And then whenever your ESY is done, so say for example it's done like July 5th or July 10th or something, then you would do the E155 process and leave them in that bucket, and then you'd re-enroll them in fall. So again, there's lots of different options to do this. It's just you have to think about what's your student situation by school, or kind of figure out how you're going to organize this process. Are you going to use one of the options? Are you going to use two of the options? You know, so that's the big key. What we have here at the very end, also towards the back of the end of the year, there's checklists, there's ways to process all this, but also Laura did, she did some different scenarios. So she wrote up some different scenarios on different programs. So she's gonna go over those and kind of just give you guys a synopsis of what we recommend in different scenarios. So I already did the clean break, right? Everybody that has just a regular drop them, re-enroll them in fall. Then we have the juvenile hall, but there's a couple other ones. So she's going to come up here and just kind of go over a couple different options for you guys. So.
Yeah, so everybody has different processes and a way of doing it, and we want you to want you to do what works best for you guys. So on this one right here, there's a little section at the end. It's called E155 options. I just kind of jotted down the two regular ones, which is the EOY, the end of your process, and then the end of your process ESY. The other scenario that I thought, because what we ran into a lot of last year was that overlapping, that ESY rollover, and then you E155 them in July, and then you had to report all that. It kind of got a little messy with some of the, some of the people reporting. So what I came up with this year is what I like to call the clean break. So we're going to go ahead and start off with that. The clean break is basically at the end of the regular school year, and this actually pertains more not to alt ed because you guys go all the way till June 30th and then just roll right over to July 1st. This is more like special ed. Yeah, anybody who has like an end date. So because CalPEDS is saying they don't want any information from summer school. They don't want any ESY information reported. So what I came up with was that at the end of the regular school year, say it may be, special ed, special ed may have 4 or 5 end dates, but at the end of the last one, make it June 5th. You're going to take, as your school years end, so if you have school, District A end on May 29th, you're going to E155 everybody there and leave them there for a little bit and keep going down the line until you are done with all your schools. So June 5th, the last school ends, you E155. Everybody's in that E155 bucket. You report them up to CalPEDS. You get it all taken care of. Everybody's been E155. That's it, So then what happens is now you're going to bring them back out of that E155 bucket and put them into their ESY. Into their ESY classes. You're going to re-enroll them for ESY and go through the whole ESY process. And then from June 30th to July 1st, you're going to roll them over with the ESY, the end of year ESY process, just to smoothly transition them over and keep their special, their special programs and everything. You don't advance grade level at that point. And then at the end of ESY, what you do is we don't have a code to drop them again with, so we would technically E155 them again, but you just wouldn't report that one. That's now you're ending their summer session, they're done, put E155, and now everybody's ready to be pulled back for fall. So what you're going to be reporting is just your regular school year. So now in fall, on 8/10, when everybody starts, that's going to be the beginning date of your regular reporting year. And then at the end of your last school year, June 5th or whatever is going to be the end of your reporting year for CalPEDS for your regular school year. So that chunk of time for ESY doesn't even get reported.